Welcome back to the second part of our discussion on fabric design. Yesterday we started out talking about our latest line, Under the Sun, and how she and I have been how we've worked together to go from the initial sketches to building the detail and the motifs. So today I want to talk a little bit about something she touched on, which is scale. So when she was showing you yesterday sketches she had done on the iPad, for example, she showed the Monarda, the bee balm bloom. Another thing she did is butterfly after butterfly, just really beautiful variations of shape and color like this one. And what we then did is took each of these butterflies and started kind of rearranging them to create an overall pattern. And I'm going to start with this large example. This is a printout of one of the initial repeats. So the repeat is the section that is duplicated. So sometimes a repeat can be a 1-inch motif that just goes in a grid or in a brick offset. Sometimes it's a large square, even like 18 inches by 18 inches, that repeats. But what we did in terms of the butterfly, and I want to just stick with the butterfly for a minute, is we always think about you, the quilter, and how you're going to use each of the fabrics. The butterflies, we wanted to be non-directional. So if you look at this, the butterflies are rotated in lots of different directions. So there's not an up or down. The other thing that this does is when you cut it and seam it, because often you have pieces sewn together, it won't accidentally look upside down, this print. We initially started with really large sketches and thought, oh, this could be a very cool large-scale print. And it's not just, having large scale is something that is really cool on the bolt. And sometimes we love it, but when we looked at it, we thought, I think we're going to want to scale this down. So we worked with Jessica at Benartex, who is the world's greatest stylist. She totally understands what we're doing and has years and years of experience kind of working with designers and being the middle person between the designers and the mill. She is it's like she's telepathic. She understands what we're trying to do with color and detail. And it's like being a writer and having an awesome editor. She gets what we're trying to do and gives us a lot of very helpful advice. So when she printed this out and sent it back to us, because we send her files, she has color matching software and a very fancy printer, and then she will FedEx us back printouts. And those printouts are always pretty accurate compared to what the final fabric will be. I mean, fabric's always a little different, but she sent this back, and she also sent a different scale and knew right away, and we agreed, that it was just too big. And as soon as she scaled it down, we thought, oh, she's definitely onto something here. And we said, let's go even smaller. And it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of rounds of sending files and images. One of the things we said is, okay, it's still too big. We want these to look kind of special and intricate. So we scaled it down even smaller. And you're going to notice here also, there's a total change in color. We went in a new direction. As we went smaller, we didn't want the multicolored butterflies to stand out almost polka dot-ish. We decided instead that we would have beautiful detail in the butterflies, but we would do 3 different colorways: a rose colorway, a blue colorway, and a green colorway. But they would be more of sticking with very analogous colors. So it wasn't quite as busy, and it was calming and beautifully detailed. She also understands really, really well what level of line will print on fabric. So she worked with us to get the perfect amount of detail. And so these printouts, I mean, on screen, I'm going to hold up three things. They are going to look exactly the same on your little screen, I'll bet. But to us as designers, we immediately saw why she sent us three versions. In this case, she took one of the oranges and changed it from kind of a burnt orange to a bright orange, and then a bright orange to a dull orange, and labels them A, B, and C. And we have this really fun routine where we get the FedEx package, we get on the line with her, and she's like, okay, which one? And we already know that she has her favorite, and 19 times out of 20, we'll say, oh, without a doubt, B. And she'll say, exactly. And we're almost always on the same page. If we don't immediately have the same feeling, we talk about it, and it really helps to understand her point of view. She might say, for instance, oh, on the pink, I know that this mill is fantastic, but the pinks always come out a little dirtier than you expect. So the printout needs to be even brighter so that when they match it, it won't be as bright as what we send them, but it will be what we really want. Or she might say, oh, it's the rainy season right now, and that will affect the water quality, or the heat of the summer will affect the printing at the mill. So she knows this kind of technical detail and works with us on issues like scale, density, coloring, and of course she also understands the marketing, as do we. And we're always trying to figure out how do we get all these components together to make individual fabrics that look great, but this butterfly actually is part of a whole collection. So you're not just designing a single fabric, you're designing a fabric that's part of a collection. So we'll keep talking more about what happens next, but it's kind of fun to let you in on this because we don't usually have this chance to talk to you all about how we design fabric. It just kind of miraculously appears at your quilt shop or online. So this is a little behind the scenes, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care.